So my name is Federico Bitti, and I'm here today to talk about a movement disorder, my movement disorder, but also about two men and the huge impact they had on my life. You know, when Tiziano Terzani, one of our greatest journalists, was diagnosed with cancer, he wrote that the distance that is created between the affected and the healthy sometimes puts relationships to the test. Because sickness breaks an order, and the logic and the priorities of an healthy person become absurd, irrelevant, and sometimes even offensive. So today with you, because when we get to talk about diseases, there's always this huge gap between the talker, the affected, and the audience. Because as much as sympathetic as you could be, it's always hard to understand. You would say, poor guy, I'm really sorry for him. But it's really hard to understand what a person is feeling. So today, I'd like to at least try to fill this gap. And to fill this gap, I'm going to need your participation. I'd like everybody to stand up, please. Alzatevi. Push gently but firmly the head on your right, of the person on your right, very strongly. Let's stay like this for 5 seconds. 5. Just try to imagine that now you've just lost control over your neck, that as much as you want to move your neck, you just can't. So let's count. 3, 2, 1, 0. Let go. Remember this feeling. Because this feeling you've been experiencing for the life-size seconds have been the last 8 years of my life. This is focal dystonia, which is a movement disorder who can affect different muscles, causing involuntary contractions, and the body can no longer make the simplest of the movements, instead engaging in a non-stop tremors and spasms. And this is 24/7, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. It only stops when you sleep. In my case, it all started with the neck. And that's why it's called also cervical dystonia, spasmodic torticollis, or, as Americans say, ST. It was 2007. I was 32. And I'm a journalist. I was interviewing this guy, and, I had to look at him towards that direction. And I felt this surge of a pressure forcing my head on the opposite direction. They were filming the interview, so I had to use my hand. Can you imagine how relaxing this interview was? I had to use my hands just to stop it. They were the longest 20 minutes of my life. Imagine, the feeling I asked you to feel before. 20 minutes. I was so scared. But when I got home, I just thought, maybe it's just stress. You work too much. You need some rest. It's anxiety. So the symptoms evolved, and what it was a stiffness in my neck began a twitching, a constant twitching. And to stop the twitching, I had to upper my shoulder and just, lean my head to my right. And I was like that. So can you imagine every most simple activity in your life, like drinking from a glass, driving, shaving? I had my cousin shaving me. Because I couldn't stop. I only could stop like that. So when I was diagnosed, at the end I knew that it was something serious, that it was cervical dystonia that I was facing. And the doctors just told me that I had 3 options. 3 options. Botox injections to paralyze the muscles, drugs to relax me, and ultimately a brain surgery. A brain surgery that would electrostimulate the part of my brain in charge in conditions like mine. They had to open my skull, put some wires on it, connect it to a battery, and that would electrostimulate my condition. But I kept saying no, because I was afraid that the wiring of my brain would have set a path of no return. I couldn't believe that I had lost so much connection with my brain, with my body. I couldn't believe it. And actually, the surgery, they told me that I could have gone better 40, maybe 50, maybe 70%, and there's always a risk with surgeries. So I kept saying no. And it takes a man. It can take only a man when you're fragile, when you're weak, when you're powerless, to take away all your energy again and to make you feel worse. And this person to me was this particular doctor who told me, Mr. Beatty, if you don't have the surgery, you're not going to walk again. But in spite of his assumption, he said that my destiny was written. My destiny was written to him. But I kept saying no, maybe because I'm a coward, maybe because I'm a stubborn person, but I thought that I shouldn't have had that surgery. So I kept trying Botox, I kept trying things, but nothing was working for me. And actually, I was getting better, I was getting worse. Maybe the doctor was right, because my walking, my dystonia from the neck had reached my back, and I had to lean like that in order to walk. And it was getting impossible to walk. Walking few meters, I can't believe you, felt like a marathon. And until 32, I was a perfect, healthy person. I was desperate. I was depressed. I didn't know what to do. And that's when I came across another man. And this man, because if it takes a man to take away all your energy, it can take another man to give it back to you. And this is what Joaquin Farias was to me, the person who talked on the stage just right before me. I read his book, and he was retraining people affected by movement disorder with a new rehabilitation technique based on a principle that is known, that the brain is plastic, that even if it forgets the simplest of the movements, it can be taught again. It can be taught again. Sorry, English. So I went to see him in Toronto. And he was there. And we spent 6 weeks together there, building a routine of exercise that was tailored on my condition. The movement was the key. Relaxing, straightening the muscles that I wasn't using, because it wasn't only that I was using some muscles too much, it was that I wasn't using others at all. So the other muscles were collapsing. So we had to strengthen other parts. But, retraining a brain that has decided to work, to torture your body for 7 years is not an easy task. And I'd like to show you in 2 minutes what we did.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, y 1. ¿Ya? Y aguanta, 10 segundos, cuenta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10. Entonces, te voy a torturar, pero no mi cuerpo, yo lo que quiero es torturar tu cabeza.
So in those days, I learned, or better relearned, how to be in charge of my body again, a little bit. I learned to lower my shoulder. I made this. That it might look very simple to you, but I wasn't able to do this for 7 years. But, because a person affected by a movement disorder, it's so hard for a person like that to bring your body towards a certain direction, and sometimes you just give up. For example, to me, it was impossible to look at that side, and so you just give up, you don't do it anymore. And only being asked to do that with a Joaquin approach, it made me feel that I could do it. And maybe I could do it for a second, and that second became 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then I could do it. But there was something more that might be unique, that might be absolutely underestimated by anybody. And that something can be revolutionary, extraordinary. And my something was this. I was just walking with my headphones on. So there was Vogue playing, Vogue, the hit from the 90s. And as I followed the beat, the music, I realized that my walking was better. The day after, I told Joaquin, I made this movie. I wanted to show him. So I got home, I just filmed myself dancing, and I showed it to him. And he was like, oh my God, this is your treatment. This is your treatment. I mean, you are another person while you dance. Every day has been a discovery. Every day I discovered something different. I discovered new movements. I discovered that I could be in charge of my body again. So dancing, I needed to share this discovery, this experience, not only for me, not only to give hope, but to make people understand that when nothing seems wrong, maybe another path is there for you and is inside of you. What I mean to say is that this is not about, getting people to dance, because there are professional dancers, much better than me, that are affected by dystonia. This is to give space to what naturally can reduce your symptoms. But the answer to this video was overwhelming. This video was published by the Globe and Mail, which is a Canadian newspaper, one of the most important ones, and got more than 2 million views. And you know why? I wish it was because I'm a great dancer, but I don't think so. I think that this video not only gave hope, but revealed a hidden pain, a denied pain. Because people with movement disorder, like dystonic people, you get to see your neurologist every 3 months, normally. You get your Botox injections or your drugs. You go home and you just hope that that is the right time. And sometimes it works fine. For many people it works fine, but sometimes it doesn't. So I needed to find another path, and I think that I found it with Joaquin. So today I'm just saying that, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to dance as much as I can, but still I want to say that what doctors proposed me once is not wrong or unacceptable. I just wonder how powerful it could be if we managed to combine medicine, science, this new approach, if we had the time, the resources, the will, the strength to listen to a human being in his own wholeness, in his little but big thing, as dancing is to me. Because, I think that we only have 2 choices here, as Italo Calvino said. That the hell of the living, and it's not something that will be. It's already here, and it's here. It's what we do every day by being together. And there are 2 ways from escape from suffering from it. The first one is easy for many, is to accept the hell, be part of it, and not to see it anymore. The second one is risky, and it takes vigilance, apprehension, attention, is to seek and learn to recognize what in the hell is not hell, and make them endure and give them space. So if dystonia or a movement disorder is my hell, this is my little paradise, and everybody should be helped to find his own. now it would be great. That's with me. Thank you so much.